So it's been a few days ever since the PTB dropped for the Alien chapter, and before logging off this PTB, I want to give my final thoughts on this chapter, but mainly the Xenomorph. I just want to say that I still can't believe that an Alien chapter is finally in the game. Like, this is not our imagination anymore, this is real. And for the most part, I've been having really fun with this chapter overall. The Xenomorph is very fun to play and extremely adaptable too. That's the thing I tend to like about most licenses in the first place, especially like with big licenses. You would notice that most of the time the killers are very adaptable to play. They're not like too hard to figure out, which is always a good thing, because say someone is an Alien fan but they don't play DBD, they see the Alien chapter presented in DBD, and then that will make them want to pick DBD up and then try the Alien chapter. So whenever they do play the chapter, the killer and the survivor is not too difficult to play or learn to adapt to, so they might get a hang of it much easier. But to be honest, it can be a process to learn DBD if you're new nowadays, especially having to learn maps and pressure survivors if you're a killer main, or learn how to loop if you're a survivor main. Now, I already told you guys that I'm 100% maining the Xenomorph. I had always wanted a crawling killer in the game, and the Xenomorph presents that pretty well, especially with that tunnel system. Still pretty damn cool that they even added that to the game. But let me tell you something, I've been getting pretty well with that tail. That tail isn't as simple as it may look, because at first I thought it was a bit more on the simple side, but you can actually do some pretty nice tricks with the tail. I was playing on Larry's and I was kind of mad because I realized I wasn't even recording the gameplay, but the area where it's in front of the exit gate and it has the window, that loop where it has the pallet in the middle and it has the chairs, a Meg was looping that area and I managed to tail strike her through the window and hit her. Even in certain loops where I feel like I couldn't catch a survivor, I would use my tail strike to hit them over a certain tile. There's tiles where you can hit survivors with a pretty slick tail shot, making it feel like you caught them through collision in a way. I already know, like probably a week after release, which is the 29th, there's gonna be a handful of Xenomorph mains that just tail strike through anything, and that's that part I'm talking about, which I like, because like though the Xenomorph seems like a simple killer, you can use clever tail strikes like this and make the gameplay feel even more satisfying. Don't get me wrong though, there has been times where I felt like I hit them with the tail strike but it just didn't connect. I can see what y'all was talking about with the hitbox being kind of off with the tail strike a bit, but I know the devs is most likely gonna fix that anyways before release. But release needs to come on, man. You know how long these queue times be taking on the PTB? That's what kind of be derailing the fun too, because it's like, yeah, I don't mind playing against bots from time to time, especially during PTB time, but it's like I want to face real people. But when you want to face real people, it's like it's gonna take forever to find the lobby. Don't get me wrong, it could take a minute on release too, but I don't think it would take as long as the PTB. During the PTB, at least from my side, it'll be taking like a good 12 minutes to find a match. On release, it might be half that time, but I could be wrong. Queue times may actually be quick, hopefully at least. Usually I'll have a major complaint about a chapter coming out, but I don't really think I have a complaint about the chapter. Playing as the Xenomorph feels great. Ellen Ripley's perks is interesting, and I really like that chemical trap perk. Though I feel like a smart killer, if they see the killer would just break the pallet and then just leave chase. I think that's the smartest thing to do, because it's like if they drop the pallet to then plant the trap on top of it, and then for you to break it, you're getting hindered and they're getting distance away from you. So to keep chasing them is going to waste more time. So it's like you might as well just break the pallet and then just dip and then find another survivor. But if you manage to catch a killer in the chemical trap, it still is pretty satisfying though, especially if they keep giving you your full attention. But other than that, I would say the turrets can be a little annoying, as I said, but it's these two add-ons that really just help with the turrets a lot. It's an add-on where the turret knocks you out of runner mode, it automatically breaks on itself. And then there's another perk where you can see the auras of the turrets if you're in the tunnel navigating. So those two add-ons equipped by itself give you intel on where the turrets are, and it doesn't make turrets that much more annoying since you don't actually have to break it manually, and it breaks automatically whenever it takes you out of runner mode, which I find pretty beneficial in my opinion. I didn't really have a hard time on the map. Like even after getting pretty familiar with the map, it's like the map still plays smoothly. Like I never ran into a tile where I was having an extremely hard time catching a survivor. Yeah, it was probably that one good survivor making the weakest tiles even look strong, but that's really up to you, because obviously if you're experienced enough, you should be able to shut that down quickly. But there was never a point where I got really frustrated at a certain point in the map. Design wise, I expected the map to be indoors only, but that's not an issue because at least we don't have a lot of indoor maps in this game. So I kind of expected this map to be indoors, but at least it's split and it's outdoors and indoors. But I already mentioned this before. I honestly feel like the devs are in their second prime. I just hope that they continue this route and don't slip down, because you know obviously they can have those moments. I don't think that every chapter coming up is going to be amazing or better than this chapter, but I would at least want the devs to give us their best effort. And you could tell that they really put a lot of effort into this chapter. You could just sense the love, and that's what I think every chapter should have. Not saying every chapter doesn't, it's that obviously some are more lackluster than others, but if a chapter is good in all aspects, that's the survivor, killer, and map, all in one, that's a great chapter in my opinion. And the alien chapter best represents that very well. I cannot wait until this releases, honestly. If you're maybe let down that you didn't play the PTB because you're on console or something like that, don't be let down. It's honestly worth the wait. Save up to like the max blood points, because you're going to be spending a lot on this chapter, trust me. Especially since you already saw the gameplay and you already know what to expect. But once you start playing it, it's a different story. I just really love the way that Xenomorph feels playing clever tricks you could do with it. It's simple and complex altogether. However, the chase music I could see changing a bit, because I did hear a handful of people complain about that. But that's really about it for real. I honestly thought the chase music was fine at first, but then after listening to it a couple times, I could see where everyone is coming from, where it sounds pretty repetitive. But other than that, I can't wait until this chapter releases on August 29th if I could play the Xenomorph all day. I'm 100% maining this killer. If killers keep feeling this way to the point where you want to main every new killer that comes out, that's how you know the devs is really on their second prime. So we can only see what they do from here. But other than that, hey, let me hear your thoughts on the alien chapter. You feeling it? You not feeling it? Are you excited for its release on the 29th? Let me know down below. Love y'all. Take care. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. And peace.